My background is in neonatal respiratory therapy, which means I took care of small babies. I couldn't make enough money, and I decided 1981 to move to California. I was working for a pharmaceutical company. We had invented the first modeler for infant crib death for SIDS. And a friend of mine owed me $200, and I took it in products of nail polish and lipstick. I woke up one day and I looked and saw 30,000 people roller skating on Venice Beach. And I said to my brother, do you know how much money we would pay for this kind of traffic on Fifth Avenue in New York? We should sell something. And I rented the first 5 square feet of the beach. There was nobody selling in 1981. And we sold out. And from there we started selling salons. One of the interesting parts about the nail business is different countries are 20 or 30 years behind. India is 20 years behind, 25 years behind. Has nothing to do with the education level of the industry. It has to do with the conservativeness of the people and the women. For instance, Italy is 15 years behind. They're the fashion capital of the world. So in 1981, we went into the nail business. We started building the company. My wife and I have been together since we're 12 years old, 49 years. She's my partner. And the nail business proliferated every year. It kept growing and growing and growing. And in the United States, nails were the red-headed stepchild of the beauty business because hair was so tremendous. Nobody really believed that nails were going to be as big as they are. As a matter of fact, the biggest nail company in the world was OPI, was sold for $1 billion. No hair company in the United States was ever sold for more than $330 million. So it's ironic now that nails have grown to be 5 times bigger in the United States, or 3 times bigger than any hair company. And one of the things with my growth was to be able to continue to open up different countries. My expertise in the nail business is A, inventing the products. I've invented a lot of the products from day one. It's kind of easy for me because I don't know how to do nails, but I'm always watching nail technicians and always saying, how can I make it easier? How can I make it faster? A good analogy, or a good for instance, was in 1990, my daughter was getting her nails, or a pedicure, and it took 15 minutes for her nails to dry, and they made us wait. So on the way to China the next day, I invented the first disposable pedicure slipper, only because of necessity that I didn't want to wait for my daughter's nails to dry. In the last 15 years, we took advantage of the social changes in the world of women's liberation proliferating to where women were working all over the world and had less quality time. So in 1999, I decided to start a new company for the spa industry. One of the biggest segments of the beauty business that's growing all over the world is changing the name from a salon to a spa. And basically it's just a perceived value change. All we want to do is we want to increase the perceived value so we can do different services. And the proliferation of spas in the United States has just doubled the business by raising the perceived value. Cuccio Naturel, I own 5 beauty companies. Cuccio Naturel is probably my most exciting company because it's taken advantage of the spa industry. When we created Cuccio Naturel in 1999, we had hundreds of thousands of Vietnamese who came in, who everybody thought was going to ruin the nail business. And I was so excited because I realized at the end of the day, everyone was going to be able to afford artificial nails, where the first 10 or 15 years, it was only the privileged people. And what happened in the last 15 years in America, artificial nails and nail services, pedicures and manicures, have become so inexpensive that everybody can afford it, which has just made the market 10 times bigger. And the interesting part about the beauty business and obviously the nail business is there's all different segments of the market. One of my biggest times I laugh when I travel to 150 countries is my distributors or my customers complaining about cheap products from China. The spa industry has been great because when we started Cuccio Naturel, we used the best products. We used organic. Up until the artificial nail business, most products were all the same. But with Cuccio Naturel, we were able to take different concepts and different products that cost a lot of money. So Cuccio Naturel has been a great company for me. I've now changed all my direction globally to put everything under the Cuccio brand. And the reason for that is when we come to India, I don't want to go after 5 different markets like I did in the United States. It was necessary for the first 25 years to separate and pinpoint retail for retail. The professional beauty business in the United States is based on one concept. A woman called Paula Kent, who started Redken, worked for Avon. The model that works all over the world, and people don't realize it yet, is the manufacturer Cuccio only sells to one distributor in each state in the United States. They swear and they sign contracts that they'll only sell to the professional salon. The professional salon will only sell to the end user. So it's a very, very basic concept that the rest of the world has to understand. If you don't cheat, and if you give the professional products to only professionals, they're the ones that are going to persuade the end user or the retail customer, because they're the ones who are the professional. The interesting part about India is it took me 35 years to come here. And I've been here for 3 days now, and I've been examining. There's a lot of great things about India. We all know that there's 1.4 billion people, which comes out to 700 million women. Wherever I go, that there's more millionaires in India than there are people in the United States, which is an incredible statistic. The funny part is I always realized that the Indian people are more educated, because education is very important in India. We all know the potential of India. I guess everybody in India and the world knows that the potential market. The interesting part about India is I think the people so culturally different that the 1.4 billion people almost acts as a barrier. And as educated as people are, sometimes they're all looking in the same vein or the same way. And the one thing I think why India hasn't progressed more in the global economy, I think it's the strength of the people. I think it's the morality of the people. And, you know, the women are incredible here. Out of any country I've been, I've never seen women which high standards of themselves. Usually in the beauty business, you get a lot of wild women or loose women. Incredible thing that I've learned about India now is people are so family orientated, and respect is so important that it's almost like going back to Italy or to Sicily. And that bond with family and that bond and that respect for not wanting to do something that would disrespect their family keeps them doing the right thing in the morals. So one of the challenges that we have in India here is convincing people. I don't look at India as a third world country. I look at it as a continent. I look at it as a completely different. I think the amount of people and the boundaries have been within India. And I think that what's going to happen here is there's going to be an explosion on whether it's technology, whether it's internet-based companies, whether it's the beauty business. And I think what's going to happen is the young people are going to change India. And now that I'm here, I think that in 20 or 30 years, India will be the world leader. But it's going to take those old-fashioned values and those nearsightedness to go away. It took me 35 years to find the right partner. And I never could understand why I couldn't get distributors or people to listen to me in India. I really believe that people in India were no different than the United States 25 years ago, that they thought that the hair business was huge, and they never really believed that the nail business would ever grow. there's huge hair distributors in India. And 3 years from now, they're going to hope and wish that they did what Shivani did and what Lure did. Because they already had the salespeople, they already had the stores, they already had the infrastructure. It would have been much easier for them to build a nail division. In the next 5 years here, the nail business is going to explode. One of the best parts about the nail business is that we're one of the very few industries, and the beauty business, where we can take people with very, very little education. We can train them. So one of the greatest things of the beauty business is we're in the service business. And even if technology changes, people are going to still need haircuts, they're going to still need manicures and pedicures. Basically, in the next 5 years, you're going to see Lure nails grow from where they are now to probably 20 times or 30 times larger. And again, it's not only because of how many people are here, but the incredible part in India about the nail business is it's really at its infancy stage.